Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm giving you my top tips on saying goodbye to mom guilt. This is something that comes up so much with my clients. When we're talking about living your best life, that means letting go of the things that feel toxic to us. And one of those things that tends to feel toxic is mom guilt. So today you're learning the 5 top tips that I have for you to say goodbye to mom guilt. I'm Dr. Wendy O'Connor, positive psychologist and life strategist for women. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Dr. Wendy O'Connor, and head over to my website, drwendyo'connor.com, to download your freebie, which is a weekly wellness planner. I designed for you a calendar so that you can keep simple all of the most important strategies to stay well sustainably. My top tips today are going to lead you in the right direction, but what really matters is your commitment to the follow through. And this is the case for all of the tips and strategies I talk about. It's one thing to learn them and to hear them. It's another thing altogether to put them into practice. So try your best to keep this open mind so that you can not only hear what I say and listen, but also integrate it into your daily life. A lot of the tips that I'm talking about today in regards to mom guilt are geared towards the guilt surrounding leaving your kids to go take care of yourself in some way. So a lot of the tips today are focused on leaving your children or separating from your children so that you can go do something that's healthy for you. Number 1, plan for it. Plan the activity that you want to engage in that's meaningful to you, that you're needing, whether it's stress management related self-care, whether it's social, whether it's fun. Plan it. Identify the best time of day to do it. So for some of us, that's first thing in the morning before the kiddos wake up. Some of us, it's the evening. Some of us, it's the weekend. And so how can we do this without feeling guilty? We try and plan for it. We say, you know what? Thursday nights is yoga night. And I know I need this because I need to feel confident, I need to feel strong, I need to feel in tune with taking care of myself. I need to put my oxygen mask on first. And my kids will have a better mom when I'm taking care of me. So we plan it, we identify what the need is, and we put it on the calendar. Oftentimes when we begin doing this practice, it really does help to identify a time that's the least challenging or difficult to follow through on. So as you're getting more comfortable engaging in activities that take care of yourself versus focusing on taking care of the children, it may help to do it at times when there's not a lot to coordinate, ideally. As you get more comfortable, you can schedule these experiences for yourself and use your mindset to carry you through without guilt. Number 2, write down what the benefits are of the activities that you're really wanting to engage in. So when you're thinking about creating your best life, what are those activities and those events and those moments that you're not currently having because you feel too guilty to do it? You feel too guilty to follow through and pursue the things that really speak to you because you're worried about feeling like a bad mom. What are the benefits of those activities? Why are you feeling pulled towards them? What is the need that they're serving for you? So go ahead and write down what those benefits are so that you know it's serving a greater purpose. It's not just, oh, I'm going out with my girlfriends, but I shouldn't really do that. Who needs to do that? I should be home with my kids. Write down what the benefits are of spending social time, quality time with relationships that lift you up, that inspire you, and that support you. How do you feel when you engage in those activities? After a night out with your girlfriends, or after you get to that yoga class, or after you get a massage, or after you carve out 20 minutes of time to yourself without interruption, how do you feel? Write down the benefits of those experiences, and those help feed into your why. Know that really well. Number 3, write down the most common triggers for you when it comes to mom guilt. So a lot of moms have guilt when it comes to leaving the children and doing something for themselves. And if that's you, write down what those specific triggers are. When I want to go to the gym, I feel badly because. When I want to spend time with my girlfriends, I feel badly because. When I want to go on a date with my husband, I feel badly because. Write down what those triggers are. What are those statements that your brain is fueling and feeding and secreting that's creating the guilt? Write down those triggers. Also, some other mom guilt thoughts are around our interactions and our behavior with our children. We're not thrilled with how we act in a certain situation, and we find sometimes that we react versus respond to them. And that can create a lot of guilt and heaviness within us. So write down what those triggers are and then ask yourself a couple of questions about those triggers. One, are they accurate? So one of the triggers that gets us to a place where we feel guilty is when we say to ourselves, I'm a bad mom. And is that accurate? If we were truly to list the evidence out about that particular belief, would we find that that's true? Would there really, truly be more experiences and interactions with your children that are significantly more negative and bad than good? No, there likely wouldn't be. And so knowing what those triggers are and knowing if they're accurate statements, if they're 100% true, is really important. Also ask yourself if the guilt-related thought is solvable. If there's a way that you can actually fix it. For example, you might feel guilty after snapping at your kids or yelling at your kids, and you have that pang of guilt of, oh, I just did that. I just acted exactly opposite of how I really wanted to be with them. Can you solve that? Well, you can't rewrite history, but you can go talk to them and say, I'm so sorry, honey. Mommy got really upset, and I snapped at you, and I wasn't meaning to. We can address, we can take responsibility, we can acknowledge, and we can do our best to correct a behavior that we saw in ourselves that we don't want to. So we can acknowledge that and we can solve it from the perspective of, one, committing to working hard not to let it happen again or as often to cut down that particular behavior. But we can also solve it by addressing and taking responsibility and owning it and saying, I'm sorry. Also ask yourself if this particular thought that triggers the guilt can be looked at from any other angle. For example, if we take the yelling example, you may have hung in there for 30 rounds of interruption or whining or whatever it may be. You may have really hung in there, and then the last straw happened and you snapped. Can you look at this experience from another perspective in the sense that you might say, all right, I snapped at my child. It doesn't mean or equal that I'm a bad mother. It equals that I was so frustrated, I literally didn't see any other alternative options for me to engage in at that time. I must have been really overwhelmed. So a different perspective would be, I was really overwhelmed. I know what that feeling is like. I see it in my children all the time as well. It's better off that I would take the time to try and correct or try to reframe or try to honor that feeling and see alternatives going forward than to just equate it with being a bad mother. So is there another way that I can look at the same situation? These 3 questions are really important for us after we identify what the triggers are, so that we know really, how guilty do I need to feel about this? Do I need to feel guilt at all, to be honest? Or is there a way that I can own it and reframe it and change my behavior moving forward? Number 4, and this is a super important one, it's really critical that you talk to yourself the same way you would a dear friend. We have a completely double standard when it comes to how we talk to ourselves and how we talk to other people, and especially those that we really dearly love. And I want you to start stopping that double standard. I want you to start being really mindful of the words that you use when you talk to dear friends and the words that you use when you talk to yourself. So if a good friend came to you and said, oh, I feel like the worst mother, I did X, Y, or Z, you would say what? You would have kindness and compassion, and you'd say, oh, I so get it. I've been there. You're such a wonderful mother. I've seen you do this and that and this other thing, and I admire you, and you're incredible, and I love you. We would say really kind things to our friends. We don't say those kind things to ourselves. We beat ourselves up. We say, "You idiot. How could you do this? You should be ashamed. You'll never be a good mom. Look at her. She's so much better than you." We criticize, we compare, we judge. And so if you can get to that place where you're being self-compassionate and you're being gentle and you're understanding that making mistakes is human when it comes to how we interact with our kids, and also understanding that going out and wanting to have a life that includes your children, but you also have your own identity and your own set of separate needs, and that that's okay to fulfill those. If you could hear that from yourself and you could be gentle with yourself, you would quiet that guilt right off the bat. You would quiet that voice because you gave yourself permission to be human and to thrive. So talk to yourself as you would a dear friend. It will make a total transformation in the role that guilt plays in your life. And number 5, and this is not to come from a place of feeling pressure, it's to come from a place of acknowledgement. Remember that we model for our children the lives that we hope that they live. We are raising children to become adults that hopefully have similar values as we do and live their lives in a way that creates health and happiness and balance. And so how can we really expect our children to value those things if we're not modeling them for our kids? They learn through what they see. And so if they see us beating ourselves up or feeling heavy because we're ridden with guilt, or if they see us always home and maybe not seeming happy and saying no to things for ourselves and living a one-dimensional life in that way, what do you think they're going to see, and what do you think they're going to take from that? So remember that we want to create happy, healthy, fun, zestful children that love their lives and believe and feel that they're thriving. How can we do that if we don't model it? So remember that we model for our kids exactly what we want them to learn. That might also help you give yourself permission to put on that oxygen mask first, to quiet the guilt, and to let yourself live. I hope these 5 tips are helpful for you. Integrate them. Comment below with which tip's helpful, which one you've integrated. Let me know which one really resonated with you or stuck with you. I want to know. So go ahead and comment below. Also, make sure to head over to my website, drwendyo'connor.com. Get your freebie. Start practicing your wellness today. There's nothing more important than your health and happiness in this life, because how happy and healthy we are trickles out to the world around us. Have a wonderful day.